Hello YouTube, plant lovers in YouTube. It's Cara once again welcoming you to my channel. It's Cara.inhousegreen. I hope everybody's okay. I really do hope everybody's fine. First and foremost, I have to say thank you to those who new subscribe on my channel, and thank you to those who keep watching my video. Well, this is talking about Hoya and flowering Hoya. If you're probably wondering, like, if you got Hoya in your house and then it's been a very long time you've been waiting for it to flower and it didn't, and you wonder what's the reason why. So I'm going to share you my experience about this Hoya and about how the care I've given to my Hoya. I did read some article as well, so and the thing that's there are boxes to tick before this Hoya produces a peduncle. Well, just to recap, maybe some of you don't know what peduncle is, and this is my Hoya Carnosa, just a normal Hoya Carnosa, and that is a peduncle, this one. That one, this is a peduncle, and this peduncle is that produces flower all the time. So do not cut this peduncle, because that's where look at my gross nails. Because that's where they buds will grow. So you keep it, and sometimes it be very long and then yeah, just keep that peduncle if you've seen one, and that's where the flower will grow. So yeah, it's a so before it produces peduncle, first box to tick is Hoya has to be mature enough to produces it. And this Hoya, you probably would think that it's a small Hoya and it produces a peduncle, but the thing is, this is a cutting of an old plant, and I have this one about 2015 2014, and since I have this, I put this in semi-hydro as an experiment, and since then it's still in semi-hydroponics, and you could see the roots, and the roots is just there. Per my observation, this Hoya and all the Hoya that I've looked after, this is the only on semi-hydroponics, and honestly, I'm saying it to you, it's very slow growing compared to the ones that I have in soil and bark and Hoya mixture soil. So me thinking that I probably will repot this one of these days, but I've been thinking that for a very long time now, and and what I do is scan which plants that I'm going to buy, and well, yeah, so your Hoya has to be mature enough before it produces that peduncle. And the next thing would be, it's your Hoya has to have good light, and not direct light, but a good lighting. This monster Hoya is producing a lot of flowers, if you could see it, and this is facing on that light, and it received good light all the time since I bought this one for quite some time, and it took a long time for this Hoya to flower, produces its peduncle, because it's quite a young Hoya. And I just rope it around in that railing, and it's a curtain railing, so I just put this on, and then I let the plants climb into it. 2 years ago, this Hoya produces a peduncle, which is that one, if I'll focus that one, and there's another one that suddenly dry up. I would say why it dried up, because sometimes I forget to flower the plant, so I think it just dried up. And then after 2 years, it produces 2 peduncles, and it stopped. I don't know why it stopped. I was just so frustrated, but I was thinking that, well, it's for the good thing, because this Hoya, the scent of this Hoya, it's very powerful, especially evening time. At this time you can't smell it, but if you're going to get closer, you could smell it. But this room, my dining room, and connected to the sitting area, there's a door. The moment I open it at evening, the scent is overpowering. It's flowery scented powdery thing. It's nice, but if if it's a lot, it can be extreme. So why it stopped producing peduncle, and I really did wonder that. 2 years ago then, my steamer had broken and I did not replace it for about 2 years. You know, because I just bought that blooming thing and it's not been a while. No, it did done a service for me for quite some time, but it's not good enough that it just, you know, broke. It was cheap one. So I bought this humidifier this summertime, because here in the United Kingdom, yeah, we have a very hot weather. So I bought that one, and you know, just to increase its humidity, and I have a fan on. If you could hear that thing, I have a fan on because if I don't, my wood flooring will be soaking wet. So that's the reason why. So that's one thing as well. Humidity helps. I did have produce light all the time, but then it stopped for 2 years producing peduncle, and then suddenly a lot of it you know, produces it. And I think humidity helps with it, and that's one good thing as well that you have to provide with a Hoya. It's not direct, it's if you could see it, but then it's distributed in the entire room. And sometimes after evening time, you could see this room, the entire room. If I shut the door, it's a bit misty. So yeah, it's a good one, that humidifier. I like that one. So there's a humidifier and there's a good light and maturity, and I think that would be the best boxes that needs to be ticked. But then when I was reading this article, there's an article that I read that to initiate your Hoya to produce flowers is cut the tendrils, those tendrils, because there's possibility, there's well, all Hoya produces it because obviously that's their way of using to grab things and to climb. And then they stated that to initiate the flowering, you cut the tendrils as well. It's one of the boxes that to be ticked. But with that one, I totally not in agreement with it, because my Hoya, I do not cut my Hoya. I don't. I leave it as it is. It's like wild, and sometimes if it's a lot to grow, and I just put them in this railing, and then sometimes it just dry up, and just like that brown one, it dried up, and then that's the time that it can be removed. But I don't physically cut the tendrils. And why I'm disagreeing it, that to initiate the flowering, it does. If you cut the tendrils, I would say, if you want your plant bushier, you cut the tendrils, you trim them. That is the benefit of it, of cutting it and trimming it. It could be bushier if that's your aim. But you're cutting it for the sake of producing tendrils. I mean, to cut the tendrils to produce its peduncles, initiate flowering. No, I don't think it is beneficial. Because if I would follow that, you know, if I'm new to Hoya and if I follow it, I probably missed a lot of peduncles. Because from example of this plant, like these tendrils, it's quite long, and then I've cut it from the moment it stopped producing leaves. If I cut it that way, and there's there, and that's the peduncle, there's not leaf there. So if I cut it, so I would miss this what's this peduncle, yeah. And then if I cut this plant as well, and another thing that I'm going to show you is if I cut this, oh hang on, oh there's a flower there as well. See, there's a flower, peduncles there. There's no what's this, leaves whatsoever, and that's there. You see there's a node and another node there and another node, and the next node there is a peduncle that produces flower, and this node got no leaves, and that's the node with that produced peduncle. And if you follow it and follow it, it hasn't have any until to this end. But then I'm not too sure that would grow, that sometimes that leaves can dry up, and then it's growing out there somewhere. Where are we? That is the green one, and yeah, this one, this is it. This is the one that's grow that peduncle. So this is the last leaf, the rest is got nothing. So if I cut it, I would miss two peduncles which produces flowers, which is it's a shame, because if you see that, it's such a beauty. There's no light and I can't pull it because it's very waxy flower and it's very strong scented. So I would miss that one time. And then another example, I have a lot of tendrils that just produce tendrils without leaves, because you would know that a tendril, the plant is growing with its leaves, because that's the good way of the good example of it. That is a growing plant, and then there's the leaves in it, you see. And then sometimes it's got that one with a tendril on, and just a peduncle with no leaves at all. So there would be a lot of it that you have to miss if you follow what that statement have said. And that's another peduncle that's together with this. So, and there's I'll just show you which this is connected. This one, there's one peduncle, there's two peduncle, and there's no leaf, and it's a tendril. And then this is the one, the peduncle. I think the flowers has dry up, so don't know why. So that's another peduncle that you would miss, but don't cut it off because it would produce leaves, flowers. And there's another no leaf, and that's another flowering Hoya, and that's the last one that's got leaves in it. So if I cut it this way, so I would miss 1, 2, how many I've missed? 1, 2, 3, 4 peduncles I would miss. So you know, so if your aim, if for your Hoya to flower, to produce peduncle, don't cut it, don't follow that. But then if you aim that, if you want your Hoya bushier, yes you can. So that is my opinion about it. So sometimes people write things, you know, things can get wrong, you know, but some of them are quite careful. So I am very careful. I am climbing on the table just for the sake of this video. I hope you do appreciate it. Because I'm showing you now the flowers. So I think that was my opinion about flowering Hoya. So now I'm showing you flower Hoya. Can I just pause so that I could put it in a light? Right, I've done it. So where am I? So where's the light? Come on, show me your beauty. So I am against the light. I don't know what to do. So you'll probably be complaining to me by now. So that's the flower of the Hoya australis. It's such a beauty. It's something to have if you are onto Hoya. It's just so beautiful. It's Hoya, oh sorry, Hoya is such a beautiful plant to have, you know. So yeah, so that is my Hoya australis in its beauty. Can't see the light properly, it's wicked. I was just practicing in how to video this in proper way so that you could see it, because sometimes I get myself frustrated if I see a video that I can't really see what it's trying to show me. And probably one of you will just, for goodness sake. So yeah, so that's Hoya australis, very very scented Hoya. That can't be shown. So yeah, so that's my experience about Hoya, flowering Hoya. So now the rest would be the update of my Hoya. So this is my Hoya villosa. I have this, I have opened it with you when I've bought this one, and it's a very old cutting, which is a good, very good. So if you buy Hoya as well, try to choose a good old cutting. So yeah, because it won't take long for it to produce peduncle. So this is its my new growth and the other leaf. So yeah, I'm happy with that. And then the rest is in my sunroom, and then let's go. Right, welcome to my sunroom. It is really a sunroom indeed. It's lovely weather today. Hang on, I'll just shut the door. My neighbor won't stop building things. I don't know why he's building. Maybe a castle. So this is my another Hoya publicalis, and I have opened this video. And I have a worry about this Hoya because of the way of the leaves is developing, and what my worry is, the marking is consistent as well at the back, which it shouldn't be. You know, there shouldn't be a marking at the back of this Hoya. So I really don't know what's going on with this Hoya. If anybody have their input, so it should be like just like that, you know what I mean, but not this. Come on. So I don't know, this is the difficulty of buying Hoya online. There is my growth there, if you could see the purple leaves, which is good, and that's my new growth. The other in here, there's no sign of growing. But yeah, so this is one thing that's, I said, difficulty of buying Hoya online, because you wouldn't see. Because if I bought this in the shop with this marking at the back, no way I'm gonna take it home. So that's another Hoya with view, and we'll see another one. Hoya behind me, this is Makophila, which I have a new growth, which is this one, and it needs watering. My god, it's very dry. I need to water my plants. So this is my new growth, day one leaf, which is I'm happy about. So they are lovely and growing so well. My Carnosa, which is growing, have no problem. This is my new leaf, and that one, and that's my new growth. And I have a lot of growth on the other end. This is the other ones growing. New leaf there, which is good. And then this one, this too is my new growth, but something happened to this leaf, I think because of the spray, and that's my new growth. So happy with it. And the next would be behind me, my other monster Hoya, this Hoya Carnosa twisted, and it's needed a lot of it needs watering, so I have to water this plant. I have rope around this thing on that, you know, the basket, because if not I'll be all over this place. Yeah, I'm looking for how to do this Hoya so that it will be like you know, like rolling around or climbing about. But yeah, so I think it just dropped. So it's growing not so badly, and I think it have withhold growth for me because it was infested with thrips totally, and I have to spray this plant, and I have to spray again, so I have to water it first. And this my Hoya Matilda Splash, it's been flowering 3 times this time, and it's resting. I'm glad it is resting. It needs a rest, you know, plant need a rest, like you and me, living things. Yeah, I would say. And it needs watering, so not too bad. So another peduncle without no leaf. Another tendrils, no leaf, but produce a peduncle. So you see, if I cut it, there's 2 peduncles I would have missed. So another Hoya, that's very good. Now this Hoya, I love this Hoya. I think this is my favorite Hoya of all. It's just the way it is. The way it represents itself. It represents itself calmness. It's like willow tree, am I right? You see it and it's just so calm and steady, and just look at that. And when you touch it, it's very soft, velvety. It's wonderful Hoya. So yeah, it's beautiful. Well, the update of this Hoya is that one. See that? Yes. And see that? Yes. Focus. Yes. And so on and so forth. And another one to look forward to. And this is my first time to have this Hoya, and first time it would bloom. I don't know if it's scented, I'm not too sure. Oh, this is the first I've seen it, having that one there, the peduncle then between the node. So they do that? Oh, I never knew that it would do that. I thought it would just peduncle would just be on the end of the growth. Oh, well, I'm not complaining. So yeah, and it's a different color. Why the heck it's a different color? Is it dead? Oh dear me. So yeah, so this is my Hoya that I am very looking forward to. So I think that's it, guys, of all my Hoya collection. I hope you are doing great. And thank you very much once again for following me and those new subscribers. I hope you enjoy it as usual. I keep saying this again. And goodbye and God bless. And oh, hang on, the last one. I just wanted to see the flower. Alright guys, and this is what I'm just showing you about. So goodbye and God bless. And keep safe everyone. Bye for now. See you sooner, hopefully.